We have a building of 4 floors with more than 30 investigators, astronomers, geographers, and scientists who work with us, even though they are criticized and they are not welcomed by the scientific community in Mexico. They believe this is real and this is important. Thanks to this show, we have everything, and we have the money to go around the world and do these investigations. Last year, I was able not just to go to England, but I went to Italy, I went to Turkey, as I promised, with my dear friend Haktan Hakdogan. I was there with Yalcin Yalman, and I am absolutely sure, even Roger Lear is, because he was there too, that this is a real phenomenon, what is happening in Kumburgas at the Marmara Sea. We also went to Italy with Antonio Ursi and also Pier Giorgio Caria, and we were able to take all this investigation to Mexico. We have now a show in LA TV in the United States. It's a Spanish-speaking network. Probably you can watch it even though you don't want to understand it, but it's there. And I want to tell you something. After the first 10 shows, we were rated #1 in the network. Because of that, they got 20 more shows that are now being presented. And thanks to that, we have now a pilot in English for the American television. There are some companies with syndication that are really interested in everything that we are doing, not just in Mexico, but around the world. And I cross my fingers that very soon, for the first time, a program done outside the U.S. is going to be presented to the American public with a different vision of this phenomenon. Real investigation. We will take the responsibility not just to present 2 sides. I will take the responsibility that everything that we present there is going to be real. Because I think most of the programs that present both sides is because they don't want any responsibility. The investigators have to have responsibility, have to respond for what they present. And that's what I'm going to do.
But this is the first mission that we want to present to you, the STS-125 by Shuttle Atlantis. And as usual, the first day of the mission is always, by some coincidence or curiosity, the most intense day in UFO sightings.
I want to say something. All these are spacewalks by the astronauts. We have seen that every time that there is a spacewalk, there are UFOs very close to the missions. It's like if they are watching, if something happens, I don't know exactly what.
And besides that, the images that you are seeing, like this one, the next mission, STS-127, by Shuttle Endeavour, well, all these images are broadcast by NASA on their own satellite. And as you can see, suddenly appear strange objects, luminous objects. We don't know what they are. We call them UFOs because of the characteristics, the speed. Sometimes they change, moving like this one. This is very interesting. You can see like it's like rotating, has some kind of appendices or something. Well, every sighting or every image where these objects appear show different features. This is a beautiful one. On the upper part of the screen, you are watching our planet. This is at nighttime, and you can see many objects passing by. Sometimes these objects approach either the shuttle or the International Space Station. In this mission, the next one, STS-128, by shuttle Discovery, we can see not only one but two. These images are becoming more familiar for us because we follow 24 hours a day for 15 days or 16 of mission, all the transmission. As you can see, sometimes the objects are very fast.
We don't think this is space trash. We don't think these are meteorites. We don't think it's size. If these were space trash, it would be very dangerous for the missions. If these were meteorites, can you imagine? It would be impossible to survive in the International Space Station with so many. In many cases, you can see the objects standing still, but they are not standing still. They are moving 28,000 kilometers an hour. That's the speed of the International Space Stations and the shuttles.
And there is something also interesting. These new recent missions are very different from the first ones. The first ones, the images were almost black and white, but at the same time you could see the background full of stars and objects and whatever. But suddenly it seems that they changed maybe the lens of the camera, so maybe they changed the camera. And now it's hardly to see in the background. This is a very interesting sequence in which you can see from inside of the shuttle, there is, through the window, a small object pulsating that is passing by. These are the kind of images that we definitive think are anomalies in space. Also, as Jaime said, this is a spacewalk, and as you can see, suddenly appear an unknown light, an unknown object, and sometimes exhibits a strange feature like this one. Now you are seeing this big orb, and also some reflection or some strange appearance, like in this moment. Now this is controversial, and we know that. I mean, we realize all these images are controversial, but we are showing you exactly what is happening in space.
But
now,
I've never seen anything like we saw before. You know?
Yes, and of course we are very familiar with, by now, with all these anomalous objects, and we made a selection every time that we come here to the Congress of what we think is the most interesting. As you can see, this is the shuttle. Sometimes the object appear more slow, sometimes more faster. Now this is very interesting. As you can see, the camera operator moved the camera and somebody detected some objects on the surface. Now this is where the shuttle landed, and of course all the missions have been very successful. We must recognize that NASA has been doing a terrific job in space, and this is the recent one.
Yeah.
Just 2 weeks ago, the STS-130 from Endeavour.
Okay, I want to remember you that the only way we have these images is because of the work of Santiago Iturria. He stays when the missions are in process. He goes to a room, hides from the wall, takes a lot of food, and records everything, every single minute from every mission. He gets hundreds of hours. Then he has to review every single minute to find where the objects are, because this is presented live by NASA, but it's never repeated. That's the only reason. The only reason we know this is real is because he recorded directly from the direct transmission. Otherwise, NASA would never present this again, and we would never know. There are some comments that where the hell in the world Santiago Iturria and Maussan are getting these images, and this is being said by people from NASA because they don't know where we are being able to obtain. But anybody can do this. If you want to do this, you can do it. take the NASA channel, record, and please do. I know this presentation is going to be on YouTube. Listen to me there outside in the world. Record all the NASA missions, and then we will have every single evidence. Unfortunately, probably we are